Haha. I like this filter so much because it tells you exactly the hour and the time when you start filming. However, if you pay attention, this particular clock is not going to change, so there's that. Anyway, good afternoon, or in this case, good evening and good morning, Brave New World, because it's technically morning. It's Joshua again here with a brand new video in which I get to talk to the camera, and it's a kind of intimate conversation between you and I, the viewer, and me, the person who is talking and making commentary about any other random topic that you might imagine about, that you might talk about. Well, a few moments ago I was listening to this particular song by this masterful creator of content focused on the musical aspect of arts from Australia named Darren Hayes, who used to be in this magnificent duo from the 90s called Savage Garden. And I was listening to this particular song called I Knew I Loved You, and I have to say that it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Why? Because every time you listen to it, you eventually are going to find yourself loving it, enjoying it, pleasing yourself, and giving yourself a feast with this kind of singing that is actually rather fantastic and fascinating and well done by someone who actually does pay attention to the craft that they are dedicating their time and lives into. So, I was listening to this particular song by Darren Hayes, who used to be the singer of this 90s group called Savage Garden, which probably a lot of people, plenty of people have heard about. This group from Australia who used to create this amazing music during the 90s, very good romantic songs called Truly Madly Deeply Do, Darren Hayes, and other stuff. So yeah, what other songs did they create? I Want You and other stuff. Anyway, I was listening to it and I couldn't help but notice this particular news that got me thinking, hey, he does have a life. You know, he doesn't owe you anything. Just a little bit, and yes, because of you, he's famous. However, he's not there to entertain you, you know? Now, why am I saying this? Because I was reading this particular news about the response of Darren Hayes to all the people asking, begging, and some of them demanding for a reunion of Savage Garden. And his response was rather brutal, according to this article by this particular website called Q News. By the time when I upload this video, naturally I'm going to write down the link there and I'm going to comment on it. So yeah, that's fine. Anyway, there are some headlines like about the website where I'm getting this review about the website from which I'm getting this information. The name is Q News and it has headlines. It has headlines such as Belgian Prime Minister flies rainbow flag after brutal murder of a gay man. Go ahead, you go. Yes, the murder of a person, it's brutal regardless of this person's anything. It's a human who died, so it deserves to be given its proper awareness. Leslie Jordan watched the Meghan Markle, who the hell is Meghan Markle, interview and he picked a side. I couldn't care less about that. Queensland LGBTIQ aged care residents throws huge Mardi Gras party. Go ahead, you have the right to exist and you have the right to do that as long as you are not bothering anyone. Q News Magazine's issue 509, March 2021, sorry. So yeah. Darren Hayes' brutal response to calls for a Savage Garden reunion go like this. Darren Hayes has shut down talk of a potential reunion for Savage Garden, alluring to a fractured relationship with former bandmate Daniel Jones, who, by the way, totally dropped out of sight when you think about it. During a recent Instagram Q&A, Darren gave a frank response to a follower's call to please do a Savage Garden reunion, and to which Darren replies, imagine you had come out and survived a really dysfunctional and toxic relationship, and then for years later, people would ask you to please get back into that relationship. He replied, the Queensland-born Hayes formed the band with Jones in 1994. They enjoyed massive success for 7 years, releasing 2 hit albums before splitting in 2001. Apparently, last year, bandmate Daniel Jones said in an interview the pair no longer had a healthy, workable relationship. And you know what? Whatever it's there, it's your life. And if you choose to go your separate ways, you had your reasons, even if it's hurtful for us, the listeners, the admirers, the fans, and the viewers, for us to see, even if it's painful and devastating, emotionally devastating for us to see. Because, hey, we just see the iceberg, but we do not get to see the bottom of the iceberg, and that gets you to think, well, and that gets me, in my case, that gets me to think, man, as devastating as this probably might be, even as saddening, what other words can there be? I need some synonyms for that. I can't believe I have to take a look at that thesaurus to check that part. Saddening, synonym. You know, even as saddening, devastating, disappointing, disheartening, grieving, and desolate and discouraging as this news can be about the impossibility for a Savage Garden reunion. After reading this, you take a look at that, you understand, and you get your buttons, press them correctly, and realize that, oh yeah, so that's the reason. Yeah, I totally understand that. Darren, have a good day, and hey, you do you, and if you really don't want to go back to that toxic, unworkable, dysfunctional relationship, go ahead. What else? Last year, bandmate, he said that if the pair tried to recreate the band's legacy, it would be calculated BS, which, as we know, that refers to the droppings and the dung of a cow or any animal that you can consider livestock, as we can know. I still love the guy dearly. We are just different people. There is no wrongdoing, Jones explained. It's just different directions and different people. We just don't have a friendship anymore or working relationship. Well, as long as they keep things civil, as long as they keep things professional, and as long as they keep things civilized and not violent, that's good. And if that gets you to say that a reunion to Savage Garden is impossible, go for it. Darren Hayes, he's very proud of Savage Garden's music. Goes like this. In the Q&A of Instagram, Darren Hayes went on to say that he's still very proud of Savage Garden's music. I really love the first album. I think it's so fresh, Hayes said. I love I Want You. I'm obsessed with Carry On Dancing, Tears of Pearls, Gunning Down Romance, All Around Me, Two Beats, and A Coffee Machine. I Don't Know You Anymore. I'm very proud of those songs. Since Savage Garden split, Hayes continued as a solo artist, and he lives in Los Angeles. Last year, he lent his vocals to Brisbane's band's sport track I Never Cried So Much in My Whole Life. The singer-songwriter told his Instagram followers he's currently working on new music and wants to tour again once travel restrictions lift. I miss touring very, very much, and I never thought I'd say that until we had a pandemic. I love you there. I love your music, Darren. And then, hey, if such a thing as a Savage Garden reunion is impossible, go ahead. Hey, it's you, it's your life, and you have your right to that. No one is entitled to details about why this is impossible. Just whatever you provide. So yeah, long story short, sad and discouraging as this news is as to Savage Garden, in the impossibility of Savage Garden reunions, I totally respect the singers. I totally respect the singer's decision about not doing it. Good night, Brave New World.